Remember the Black Widow said Mohbad's body was cold when the driver touched it. The driver who was driving. The people who were carrying the body did not see that the body was cold. It was only the driver that turned back to check what is the status of the body. So we have to come back home. Right. If the hospital says he did not die in their house, in their hospital, and they said the body is already cold in the car. So let's come back home now. That will be the genesis of everything. That's the genesis, definitely the genesis of everything. From the statement, he died in their house. The road rejected, the hospital rejected, but confirmed that it was off, because there is a case of the nurse in the house. So what do I have behind me before we continue? Mama Adebukola, welcome in. Thank you so much, Mama Adebukola. What do I have behind me? We have justice for Mohbad. The elements of justice for Mohbad. We have 5 elements of justice for Mohbad. And there is a particular one that people are always looking for, or some people are looking for, which is Mohbad's royalty. It's not included here. His royalty is not included here. Why? Number 1, the first element. Yeah, that's senseless. The first element is the DNA. The second element is the toxicology and the autopsy. The third element is the digital and all forms of forensics. The fourth element is the inquest, police investigation, and the people at home, the witnesses. And the fifth element is the legal team, Baba Mohbad and Sanchitu. These are the 5 elements of justice. Let me refresh your memory on why the DNA is needed. When Baba Mohbad began to talk about the DNA, he's not talking about the DNA because of money, or because of royalty, or because of anything. It is actually because it might be a motive. It's because it might be a motive. Baba is not requesting for the DNA. Let me refresh our memory. Some people believe Baba is requesting for the DNA because of money, or because of this, because of that. No, that's not the reason why Baba is requesting for DNA. Baba is requesting for DNA because it might be a motive. Somebody will say, motive in what sense? It might be a motive. If it's not for... Thank you, precious queen. Thank you so much. It could be a motive. If it is not for Mo, the person that is responsible might be the one responsible. You get what I'm trying to say? If it is not for Mo, the person that is responsible might actually be the one responsible. Because it will be a case of it will be a case of Nami get them no be your own. And there's no way I can claim it if you are not, if you are still existing. That's the reason why this could be a motive. Nobody is trying to shame anybody, if I understand Mr. Aloba very well. Thank you, precious queen. Nobody is trying to, shame anybody or blackmail or do whatever. Thank you, precious man. Nobody is trying to do that. Thank you. It is for the motive that could be behind. Thank you so much. So it's gonna be a case of you are not the owner, I am the owner, and there is no way I can claim this thing if you are still existing. Thank you, precious man. Thank you so much. So that's how it's gonna look. So that's the reason why Baba is requesting for this. The DNA. Simple. Simple. So we have number 2, the toxicology and the autopsy. All of these, see, the toxicology came in. Let me tell you how the toxicology came about. The toxicology came about from 2 different angles. The number 1 is what we have actually spoken about today. The nurse, the injection. And the number 2 is from substances that could have been in the food that Mo eats. Remember, there was a narration or narrative that some times ago that the food that Mo eats, the remaining, they wash it in the toilet. Nobody eats it. So, from the injection that were administered on most body, remember I'm talking about toxicology now. I am not talking about autopsy. Toxicology, just like you know, deals with the inside. Chemical substances inside, the internal organ and every other thing. If a food has been laced with something, if a wrong injection has been administered in a body which does not suit the sickness or a sickness, they carry out a toxicology test to see the internal organ and every other thing, the substances. So from the nurse perspective, from the nurse's angle, we need a toxicology. From the substances that could have been spiked or that could have been laced in Mohbad's food, there is a toxicology test that is needed. Are we getting it now? There's a toxicology test that is needed. That is the reason why. That is the reason why the body of Mo, or sorry, that's the reason why the test that the government said it was inconclusive. I am not, please, I am not trying to conclude. I am not trying to instigate, but I am saying from the level of the common sense which is supposed to be at work here. Yeah, thank you so much, TY Dots. The time also, yeah, thank you, TY Dot. I am not trying to insinuate, but I am just trying to say from the level of the common sense that the result would or couldn't have been inconclusive. Because definitely, if there is no other substance in Mohbad's body, injections and some couple of things. Remember, the police during their investigation said they found 5 syringes in Mohbad's body. In Mohbad's house, 5 used syringes. 3 were accounted for, and 2, they could not account for 2. And the 2 were already used. Let me remind you again. My Malara Sunshine, welcome back in. Remember from the police statement, which is on YouTube, they saw 5 different syringes. 3 were accounted for, paracetamol and some of those things, and 2 were unaccounted for. So it means from the toxicology test that was carried out, it was used. Then other ones, there were other unused. Then there were 5 used. 3 were accounted for, and 2 unaccounted for. I can play it so I will have a better understanding. So at least 5 different chemical substances, or 5 different things supposed to be. So that's why we need the toxicology. Now let's come back to the autopsy, which deals with the outside of the body. So that so many of us, the reason why we have to do this, together with Honorable York and some other people, Barrister Lighting, the reason why we have to do this is because we need to simplify and show us once again the reason why many of you believe that this case is simple. I want to agree with you that it is 101,000% simple. But if they want to complicate it for us, we will show them the reason why it is simple. We will show them the reason why we will not allow them to complicate it for us. They can say they want to complicate it, but we are going to show them that no, Mohbad is not just going to go like that. Thank you, my Moriri. We are going to keep standing till Mo gets justice. Let's go to the autopsy. Why is the autopsy needed? Trying to refresh our brain again, our memory. Trying to refresh our memory again. My Moriri, thank you so much. Remember, before a certain person went to QH Radio and said Mohbad does not have mark on his body. You all remember that, right? Who killed? If I say Baba, if you put Gida, now you sabi. Who killed Baba? If I say Baba, if you put Gida, now you sabi. Who killed? If I say Baba, if una put Gida, now una sabi. Titi, thank you. Kikida kwe. So we are on the autopsy, right? Yo, I'm telling you. Who killed? If I say Baba, if you put Gida, you are on your own. Now you sabi, now you sabi. The question I asked is, who killed so person? If I say na Baba, if you put Gida, you are the one that know. I'm not the one that sing too. Oh my goodness. Let's continue, right? On the autopsy. Precious Queen. Let's continue on the autopsy. Why should there be an inconclusive narrative? Why should there be an inconclusive narrative on the autopsy? And the first question is, why should somebody go ahead and say at QH radio that there was no mark on Mohbad's body? T.Y. Dot, thank you so much. If it was a punch, then the autopsy will show the scratches. Crown Wealth, welcome in, man. If there was no scratch, according to the interpretation of what that individual said, then does that mean that they are lying in the house that wait, don't use the word lie-ish, because if you use the word lie, you're going to contradict yourself later when you are, making your submission. As a member of the critical thinker, you have to think very well, because you say, for anything you say is very, very important. So now, if they say there is no mark, or if he claims that there is no mark, does that mean that the hand that they are showing us is not actually Mohbad's hand? Because that is also a mark. Abi, everybody in the comment section, right? If that individual said there is no mark, so it means the hand that you're showing us is not Mohbad's hand. Then somebody is lying. Then somebody is lying. Expose. Then who is the owner of the hand that you sent? So are you really disturbing yourself? How do we go about this justice? Look at me. I am not a lawyer. I'm not even a son. If I can talk like this, what do you think a professional of over 30 years is going to do? So we are not going to lose hope. This case. So that's the reason why we need the autopsy. And allegedly now, they said there is something here. Allegedly. Let's put that there. Right? Let's put it there. Now, when it comes to all form, sorry for the English, there is supposed to be all form of forensics. All manner of forensics. I was scrolling some times ago, and I heard some people say it's only the Nigerian police that can request for Mohbad's iCloud from Apple or this and that or this and that. All they need is a court order, I believe. I remember the case of INEC and I remember the case of Peter Obi and INEC, Peter Obi versus INEC, or you say Peter Obi versus Tinubu. I remember the case very well, and I remember that when it got to a time, Amazon Web were called upon, and the police never included themselves in it. Police never needed to someone Amazon to present anything. Amazon was subpoenaed by the court. So why do people talk so dumb? Dumb. Body and discovered that Mohbad's body was cold. Remember, the Black Widow said Mohbad's body was cold when the driver touched it. The driver who was